take like 47. Magic Wand 001. We have some poplar wood that's been cut up. These pieces have been dyed yellow or black using some RIT dye. I have no clue if this stuff is going to work, so hopefully it does. It was diluted with some rubbing alcohol, soaked for about 24 hours. Let's get this going. First thing we're going to do, make a jig to get this thing glued up correctly. From here, using a piece of parchment paper to keep it from getting glued to the wood. So, glue time. Okay. This is going to be messy. So I'm expecting the dye to bleed out as it gets wet, but we're going to turn it down on a wood lathe so the outside area where I'm having some bleeding going on will get cut off, and in other areas it might just add another accent line because I have the pattern going in black yellow, and I'll get some lines in between it, assuming everything goes well. And if not, meh. Okay. Excellent. So wood clamp number 1, let's go across here. The wood clamp 2. I'll take this with some. Yeah. What? Well, I knew I had broken it. We can glue it back together though. Let's finish getting this separated. Outside of accidentally breaking it when sanding it, I'm pretty happy with the result. Okay, so off camera, I had it break here. I first tried to glue it back together, and they didn't want to go back together. Big surprise there. So I drilled a hole in the center on this side, and on this side, and put a piece of threaded rod inside there to reattach them with some glue. It didn't quite go on straight, but it still has a nice look to it, just a little bit of a curve. And the finish got messed up a little bit because I mistakenly put it on the lathe bed, which got some oil into the finish on it before it was fully set. All in all, I'm pretty happy with it. Things I need to fix is I need a steady rest, which would have prevented this from breaking, because whenever I was either sanding or cutting near the middle, you could actually see it forming an arc, which was just enough to eventually fatigue the glue there and break it apart. I can also put a dowel on the inside, so the next time I do my sections, drill a hole in them beforehand and just run a dowel on the inside, the length of it. That way there's something else holding it together that has the benefit of the strength of the grain. Speaking of which, one of the other things might not be, there we go, super obvious. We have light sections in the middle of the colored areas, whereas the spacers that I made are nearly completely dyed. And that's partly because the dye is penetrating along the grain, so whenever it's soaking in, it's basically coming in that way, and it has a shorter distance for these, because this one is basically going in perpendicular to the face, or orthogonal, whatever you want to say. So it has longer to penetrate. So I'll have to either soak it further, or try putting it under pressure, or put them under vacuum, something to try and encourage it to go in a bit deeper. Could try heat as well. Either way, the coloring looks really good on it though. Next one, I might try leaving this spacer out just to see if I like the visual look better. All in all, very excited 9-year-old got a wand for Christmas. The first thing he did was cast a spell with it. So that was like the first 30 seconds of Christmas present unwrapping, which is pretty awesome.